It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hello, good afternoon guys, it's good to be back, it's good to be with you again. Finally I moved. I'm already in a new place with good internet connection already in place, so that's done. Fast and good and stable internet connection. So it's time to get back to work, guys. So let's start with the risk warning. Please bear in mind trading effects on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investments, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay. So let's have a look what we have. First important thing in relation to our next meeting, there are a little bit of the changes done already. So as you can see below the chart, I'm going to cover Canadian retail sales tomorrow. We start 2:15 p.m. CET. So of course you are more than welcome to join me. Hopefully we are going to get some fireworks on the Canadian dollar. That's gonna be good. I'm not sure, in the meantime, either later today or probably tomorrow, I'm going to get back into the crypto charts as well. So going to make short stream about the crypto market. And as I mentioned before I moved, right, that we are going to make some changes into what we do here on YouTube. I've been in a quite long discussion with guys from Light Forex, and yeah, we agreed that we are going to go towards some education. So we are going to prepare short materials for both completely novice traders as well as advanced traders. I think that each and everyone is gonna be able to find something useful with this. And there is one more surprise. At least that's gonna be towards the end of the year as a testing period. There are going to be like the whole Europe and half of the US session covered live via charts only. We are finishing some stuff and it should be ready very soon. So a lot of changes going on. Hopefully that's gonna be towards the right direction. So yeah, I'm quite happy because of that. Anyway, we have 25 minutes to go. I'm talking about the US cash open, so still some time. In terms of the calendar, today nothing extraordinary. There is eventually what we are awaiting. We are awaiting still for the information in relation to the Brexit, right? So yeah, pound get hit at the weekly open, then recovered around the London open, retested 130, and it's being rejected. So there are still focus on Brexit, and the market is looking towards the meaningful vote decision in Parliament later today as well. The UK government should present their withdrawal agreement bill after that meaningful vote. So there is going to be the vote on the second reading tomorrow, with the potential amendment votes on Wednesday, and yeah, I would say that there is even more uncertainty. I mean, that's how I see the things. Probably some bulls are very disappointed for what we currently see on the pound. I'm talking about the price action today. That's why we are going to start with the cable within the second. As I mentioned, nothing extraordinary in the calendar today, and tomorrow we do have this core retail sales from the Canada. Wednesday, nothing extraordinary. Then Thursday is a PMI day, as well as ECB. Even more, of course, it should be totally opposite, ECB day with the PMI in the background. That probably sounds a little bit better, right? So that's how the things looks like. Let's start in that case. Let's start with the cable. Let's go through why there is a problem around the current level. Well, I think mostly because of where we are, mostly because of this broken consolidation. All right, we've seen mostly because of this broken consolidation. We've seen at the beginning of 2019, right, late February, March. Then huge breakdown, and right now we are back and we retest this consolidation. As of now, is a third day in a row, as you can see. So let's make it like this. All right. It's don't get me wrong. It's not I'm not showing the full supply zone. I'm showing the full consolidation, which has been broken to the downside, and right now we are retesting the bottom of that old consolidation. All right. So just not trying to confuse you. Anyway, so there are a few points very important, but as you can see, as I mentioned, it's a third day. So Thursday, Friday and Monday we are fighting around psychological 130 level. Of course, it's well defended by the sellers, right? As long as we are below 130, probably market the bears will try to get the close as low as possible, all right? But the supply here is based on what we've seen, for example, on the 9th of May, 3rd of May, those lows over here, as well as here, 5th of April, as well as 29th of March, right? These lower shadows, every time we've been here, there was some kind of the reaction. So, no one should be surprised that right now, when testing from the other side, there is some kind of the reaction, and we can see a bit bigger supply activity around this level, right? Overall, whatever we can say, it's based on psychological 130 level, right? So, well, in case of this type of the daily close or lower, there's gonna be possibility to create some kind of the swing high, okay, and there is going to be the possibility of deeper pullback. Now, where this deeper pullback, where we can go, right? Now, trying to talk about today's low, it was quite good price action. Because if we are going to talk about this low here, which has been created in the late April, right? So after we broke through that level and close above, right? Look, Friday and today, lower shadows. So we know where is the first line of the demand, right? Is closer to 129, 128.50, right? So those shadows, especially the price action on Friday, might suggest the open and the low, this distance, suggesting where is the first line where bulls are trying to defend some levels. Okay, so 29, 28.50, that's what we can see. In case of the deeper move to the downside, right? In case of the deeper move to the downside, we are going to talk about this consolidation. All right, I'm not gonna take shadows into the consideration, just the bodies. Okay, so we are going to talk about this consolidation, and in that case, we are talking about the 50%, and I'm gonna to place the line here for you guys to check what we are talking about, somewhere here, right? So as you can see, more or less, okay, so as you can see, there is an untested breakout level, untested in my opinion. One can argue that it's been tested on the 16th of October, but still, I still do think that the price action we've seen, the combination 14th and 15th, this especially the range from 14th, closer to 26, 20, 26, right? 126.20, 126. Okay, that hasn't been tested, right? We are talking about the upper shadows, yeah, maybe, but this half of this old range, still I think in case of the break below 28.50, daily close below 28.50, that might open 26.20, 26, and it might be in play, especially if we are going to take into the consideration last two moves, one over here and the one here. So they are equal, right? They are equal. So now maybe it's time to see at least this type of the pullback, right? So this 28 might be even might be tested over the course of the day, and I wouldn't be surprised, right? I wouldn't be surprised eventually to see some deeper correction like the one here, and in that case 27.50, and we have some kind of the line here. So it's the top of that old consolidation. So overall, from higher time frame perspective, as you can see, we have some levels, and looks like both bulls and bears got their arguments to try to be active around current levels, right? So I'm not quite surprised that we see this type of the activity today and the same Friday. So bulls trying to defend 29, 28, 50, and bears trying to defend psychological 130 level. So that's how I see the things. So let's place few lines to the upside based on those lower shadows we discussed a second ago. So that's gonna be some kind of the supply we see here, and of course we have this 2750 and then 2620, 26 as a possible demand. So that's how I see the cable from the higher time frame perspective. Let's switch lower. Let's switch to the hourly chart. All right. What we have here, let's talk about this intraday channel. Okay, looks really well from the buyer's perspective. Now let me explain you why. Let me explain you why. It's because every time we were trying to make, we need 2 points to create the line, right? So I'm talking about this one and this one, okay? And then every time we're trying to break that line, it was done by the lower, there was just a temp, and then the lower shadow being created, and we've seen higher levels. So it was like here, it was like here, same earlier today, right? Now it's very interesting. In case of the current pullback, it's gonna be very interesting as getting closer towards the end of the day. The bottom of that channel, it's gonna be around weekly open, right? So that's gonna be nice confluence, and that's gonna be very interesting. And in my opinion, we are very close to the decision point, meaning that either we are going to break through 130, right? And we are going to see the rally towards 31.6080, 32.6080 as well, or we are going to hold this 130, and the bears are going eventually take over with the break below the weekly open, as well as from the intraday perspective, break and close below the channel, then some kind of the retest eventually, and yeah, and short side, right? So trying to summarize, during the London session we hit 30.11, 30.12 around the US or New York Open 1 hour ago, 120, right? The 30.11, 30.12 been retested, so it was a little bit higher, and we see this kind of the rejection. So from my perspective, what we have right now, trying to visualize this, all right, is this intraday double top formation, where the second top is a little bit higher. Actually, it's what I like, right? And I've been trying to explain this type of the setup a few times already. Okay, something like this. Now, what we need to see, the bears are taking out the latest demand. it didn't quite happen yet here, because in that case, if we are talking about this demand, so that's the demand, right? That's the demand here. So market is trying to hold this demand, right? There was a lower shadow, there was an attempt to go higher, retest 29.90, but there is a pound is under pressure right now. So what might be eventually in case of the breakdown, right? What might be the target? So, well, if we are going to make the measure and we are going to break through, then retest of the weekly open, or maybe a little bit lower, could be the case here, okay? And we have this demand, nice demand from the London Open around here, and for now it's related to the bottom of the channel as well, right? Now let's have a look what we have on the lower time frame. Yeah, same demand, quite active here. Okay, and we are testing this demand now. In case of eventually of the possible supply, it's very close. Based on this five-minute chart, and that's, in my opinion, how does it look. Let's have a look if we have something on a smaller time frame. This supply been tested already. From the 1 minute chart, it looks like this. So it was broken, retest, to retest, sell off. But that's on the 1 minute chart. So let's get back to 15-minute chart. All right. Trying to summarize the pound price action, we have to wait and see, right? I would rather, from the buyer's perspective, I would be patient and wait for doubling this range to the downside. So breaking that range, doubling and testing this demand, all right, a little bit lower from the intraday perspective, okay. Then, of course, getting closer towards the end of the day, whatever we are going to be, it's gonna be decision point for you. If we are going to be at the end of the day below the weekly open, probably you don't want to stay overnight with this position. And the sellers are waiting for the break, some kind of the retest of the 130 and continuation to the downside. So I do believe that yeah, something might be done here from the cable perspective. We will see. We have 5 minutes towards the US cash open. Going to check euro dollar and dollar yen as well. But let's have a look what we have from the indices perspective. Okay. In that case, I'm talking about the Nasdaq. I already did a little bit of the analysis here. I do like short side, okay. Now, what I have here, there was a Thursday, Friday, the head and shoulders was traded out, right? We've hit the target. Now market is trying to recover. One of the reason of that recovery is some latest Crude update. Where is the Crude update in relation to the talks with China, and the Crude said if phase 1 China talks go well, December tariffs could be taken off. Well, now now we are back to the phase 1 of the talks between US and China, and that's the funny thing. Of course, that's what we already discussed many times. It's a political game, and of course the politicians are drawing our charts right now. So there is a phase 1. I can assure you the one of the latest phase is gonna be closer to the U.S. election, unless there is a Trump impeachment, right? We'll see. We will see. So that's one of the reasons market is trying to push a little bit higher ahead of the open after this huge Friday sell-off. Okay. So yeah, we will see. But as I mentioned, that's of course the risk from my selling perspective, right? I do understand that every and each positive comment related to China is gonna to readable by algos, and which then trying to push market higher. That's what I understand, right? But what I'm going to try to do over the course of the trading session later today, I'm going to try to fade the move higher, right? So I'm going to try to sell the rallies here. Now that's possible supply we've seen on Friday, and it hasn't been tested, right? So that's my possible supply. Okay, from the intraday perspective, that's my possible supply. And look, guys, where we found the latest, where we found the support on Friday, on the place where we showed the latest weakness over here, right? We are talking about the beginning of October, okay? Over here. So I'm not quite surprised that we saw this type of the bounce. Okay, now the rally towards the weekly close with this pullback, I'm watching 1-to-1, right? Correction and equal moves to the upside. Okay, and that's what I have here. And we are with those two equal moves, we should hit that supply, right? This supply is also related, this possible supply is also related to this latest demand from where we moved higher, right, on Thursday. Okay, so that's how I see the things. That's how I see the things here. The also good thing here is that within next minute we are about to open, and we have a space to hit the pre-market stops to the upside and to hit the possible supply, and then that depends on what's going to happen on a smaller time frame. That might be my my entry with the stop above. Okay, so market is open. We of course going to watch as usual first 5-minute trading range. And to the downside, I'm gonna to target the levels around Friday low or stops below Friday low, and with equal move to the downside. That what we are going to get, as you can see, what I already visualized here. Okay, so let's have a look where we are during this first 5-minute trading range. Let's create that range. So market is trying to take this pre-market high I've mentioned before. So the open of the cash market is equal with the low for now. Okay, and that's what we have here. So the looks like the high is gonna to be taken out within the next few seconds, and the way towards my levels are gonna be open, right? Based on the chart I'm using here, I'm watching for 7,930, maybe a little bit higher. We'll see. Whoa, equal top. Well, that's what I want. That's what I don't want to see, right? I want to see some higher levels. I want to see some higher levels. I'm watching cable on the other monitor as well to ensure that nothing is gonna happen without us. Bulls are trying to stay above the daily and weekly open right now, but it's not big distance, and the range is not that great right now. So okay, here is the cable, here is the Nasdaq for now, and the oil, yeah, is testing demand again, important levels. I would like to see a little bit higher levels on the oil from the selling perspective. If we can agree that that's the latest range, so I would like to see doubling that range, right? That would bring retest of 58. Right, that would bring retest of these levels more or less 58, a little bit higher than 58, right? And of course, without the oil overall, we might not see market going higher, right? Especially the companies related to the oil sector, right? All right, so we have intraday low, and it's very interesting that we are doing that low towards the end of the first 5-minute trading range. That's interesting, even getting even lower. Oh, not good. What's gonna be the size of that range? Not bad, actually not bad. Actually not that bad. The only thing is that it's still 15 points wide, so it's very narrow. So just like 0.2%, so less than quarter of the, not good. Not good, because actually it's showing that we might see some kind of the consolidation during the first part of the US session, so I'm going to monitor carefully this one. Okay, so we know what I'm waiting for on the cable. Let's have a look what we have on euro dollar ahead of the ECB. Probably we are going to I'm almost certain that we are going to cover ECB live. Well, you know what's the drill, right? Those guys are going to try to do whatever they can to push euro lower, right? So what is going on right now here on the euro, that after the break of that supply, right, we going higher, and there was some stop count above 26th of August high, right? On Friday there was a attempt to go higher today. Depends on where we are going to close the day. From the bear's perspective, it might be some kind of the swing high creation. From the bear's perspective, from the bull's perspective, I'm sorry, Thursday high, right, as the first line of the defense, and then Friday open and Friday low, right? So in that case, we are talking about first 1140, and then we are talking about 1125, 1115. So few important levels, right? There is still some space to try to move even higher towards 112, right? Ahead of the ECB to test if you remember, we were talking about that, to test this broken demand, right? From here we went higher, so there is still some space to try to test these levels, right, ahead of the ECB. That's also quite interesting. So let's switch lower. Let's have a look if there is anything for us from the intraday perspective. For sure the stops are below this London low. So stops are below 1150 for sure, right? What else we have here? The demand is around, as I mentioned, 1140, 1115, this consolidation. Somewhere here. That's what we discussed from the daily chart perspective. But I think more is closer to 1080 and 1065, 1080 and this broken previous supply, right? So let's get back to daily. I'm talking about this green zone. Okay, that's where I do expect more demand towards this zone, and that could be quite good and smart to try to wait for that because it's a higher time frame, right? But again, intraday stops below, open 1140, 1135, 1115. Maybe there are going to be something for us to try to fade that eventual rally. So what we have here, it might be equal in move, of course it might be. Let's wait and see. In the meantime guys, oh, in the meantime. All right. So I wanna see this equal top or double top during the cash market, right? Meaning that I wanna see, and the second top a little bit higher, meaning hitting my supply level. We'll see. In the meantime, it's time for a first break, guys. I'm gonna mute my microphone, but charts are going to stay visible. So in case I'm gonna do something, you are gonna be able to see. So watching carefully the development on the Nasdaq, right? That's where the action might be from my perspective. So enjoy the break, guys. Bar is open. Coffee, tea, mineral water, only non-alcoholic drinks for now. See you around the top of the hour. Hello guys, again second part of our today meeting. I'm quite disappointed. Looks like I missed that opportunity to try to go short on Nasdaq, but still, as I mentioned before, the range isn't that great, less than even quarter of the percent. So it might be more pushes to the upside, to the downside, more tricky moves. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient here, and I'm going to wait and yeah, carefully waiting for some higher levels. We'll see. On the cable. Trying to hold tight, a little bit deeper move on euro dollar towards the option expiration at 11.50, and we hold this 11.50. Overall, we moved currently below the weekly open. We currently move below the weekly open. Certainly there are some stops going to be taken out very soon. Not quite yet there. So we are below the weekly and daily open right now, because they are equal today. This 11.50 looks interesting. Of course, I do not expect, at least for now, I do not expect a huge move to the downside on euro dollar, and one of the reasons is the dollar index chart. I'm gonna to show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna to show you what I'm talking about, or what happened here. Looks like, well, one more time. Well, something went wrong here. That's for sure. So I'm not gonna show you the chart, dollar index chart, but anyway, I do not expect a huge move to the downside in euro dollar, at least for now, because the dollar index break through the 97.50, trading currently around the 97. So eventually I do expect to retest the old range. So eventually we might see move higher towards back and retest 97.50, 98. That, that would correspond with the euro dollar retesting levels a little bit below 111. That's what we discussed from the daily chart perspective. This green box over here, right? And then we will see where we are after the ECB, right? So yeah, looking for first to start to thinking about some possibility to try to short it. We have to break at least today's low, right? And we have this demand based on the Friday price action over here. So yeah, plenty of possible levels from the shorter time frame horizon, where the bulls may try to be very active, trying to defend some levels from the intraday perspective, right? So yeah, we will see. So you have to have in mind where we are from the dollar index perspective, right? In case you want to short it, and I'm happy with this Nasdaq right now. Dollar Swiss franc, we also after the rejection, if you remember some time ago, I've been trading dollar Swiss franc few times on these upper shadows over here, surviving by a fractal of pip sometimes. So what happened here, we broke through the low of that latest attempt to go towards the parity, right? So what I'm talking about is, one second, let's make some cleanings here. Well, what I'm talking about is the low here, right? So that was broken on Friday and we closed below. I do prefer bodies here, right? So yeah, that's what we're trying to fight with from the bull's perspective right now. At least creating some kind of the inside bar for now, but of course important thing is where we are going to be at the end of the day. I see some possibility for more bullish activity a little bit lower, closer to or right below 98. I'm talking about this lows over here. Right, then eventually the low related to what we have here. Some kind of over under, right? So overall, if we can agree, that's what we discussed, that this move to the downside create the whole range here. So we had the stops to the downside, we had the stops to the upside, we are testing 50% of that range. So either we are going to hold this 98 or we are going to retest levels below 97, in my opinion. Okay. So we will see. That's gonna be also very, very interesting. I canceled not that one I wanted. Anyway, very, very. So either we are going to go there on the dollar Swiss franc, right? We are going to revisit 98, either based on the market selling of the dollar, or with some kind of the overall risk off where the Swiss franc is going to be treated as a safe haven. That could be the case here as well. Oil, from the higher time frame perspective, you know what I'm expecting. I'm expecting retest of that lows at some point. I know it might sound crazy today. But from the intraday perspective, we are trying to hold this 50 to 80. Bulls are trying again. Let's check if we have something cable related. Checking some news services. 1 second. Looks like nothing extraordinary, at least for now. On the cable side, I'm talking about the news services. So it might be some over under in play here based on this 15-minute chart. I'm talking about this type of the retest of 3012. The supply based on the daily is a little bit higher, 25, right? Let's have a look how it's going to work out. And if that's the consolidation and break higher, so you know, you might even see 3040, 3050. But I wonder if this over-under is going to work out here. In the meantime, waiting and watching for some kind of the developments here. In the meantime, again, for those who haven't heard yet, implementing new things. I've been talking about this implementation some time ago already. After the discussion with Light Forex, we are preparing. I'm gonna to prepare some short videos, educational videos. Gonna to you know, make it easy to understand. Doesn't matter of the level of your experience, because there are gonna be something for very novice traders, and I'm gonna to discuss some strategies where the advanced traders, hopefully we're gonna find something useful as well. And of course, again, don't forget that we are starting with the total live market coverage without my voice, where we are going to, you know, non-stop from the London Open towards Europe close. We are going to monitor the market, and it's gonna be testing period towards the end of the year, right? All the explanations are gonna be provided. It's not gonna be signal service. Don't get it that way. It's more as a you know, to what we are discussing during this live meetings, like right now, when I'm talking about the over-under and stuff like this. So the short videos are gonna be full of explanation of the strategies I'm gonna to use. And then we are going to try to check in real life how it works, because sometimes during the meetings like the one we have right now today, checking one chart, discussing, of course trying to focus, but missing some trades, right? And with the of course we are not canceling this type of the meetings. The things we are going to do is like an addition to what we currently doing. All right, so I think everyone is going to find something useful for yourself. Just we have to build also the community, right? So you guys, if you like it, guys, just tell your friends what we do, and it's, you know, that it's worth to join Global Light Forex YouTube channel for sure. All right, cable is trying. Let's have a look on a smaller time frame. Yeah, I'm going to try around 30.10, 38.5 was high, 30.10, trying to trade this over under with very tight stop, like 5 pips maybe or so. And I'm going to try to trade first target as a bottom of that consolidation eventually, and the second target is going to be doubling the range, so towards the weekly open and the bottom of the channel from the hourly chart we discussed earlier today, right? So I'm gonna try to trade. Market is trying to finish the business over here from this swing high, so that's what we discussed during the first part when I was in details explaining the cable and what I wanna do. And don't forget, guys, because we are I already moved, got all my stuff, or almost all my stuff already in place. But what is most important, I've got this fiber optic connection, so that was the important, that caused a little bit of the break from our meetings, but yeah, all good, and we are back. So looks like the pound is pulling back without me, so here is 2 or 3 pips. Also missed this Nasdaq by 3 points or so. So maybe I was trying to be too straight to the point today. We'll see. But you know, if I wanna put 5 pip stop on a cable, I have to be straight to the point, and we discussed it a few times, especially from the intraday perspective. When you are trying to chase the market by 2-3 pips and doing 5-6 trades per day, then you are chasing 12-15 pips, right? And per week you are chasing 75 pips. Per month you are chasing 280-300 pips, right? As I mentioned, depends what's going to happen. Also, I'm going to prepare the crypto stream either later today or tomorrow. And the first educational video, short one, something around 7-12 minutes, also should be available over the course of the week. Going to discuss most common mistakes. Hopefully I'm not leaking. And not trying to spoil. But yeah. And also because of where am I right now, it's gonna be worth, I think, you know, to show you a few things. So there are gonna be from time to time short intros. So yeah, we are. I'm pretty sure we are going into the right direction. So. No doubt about it. is getting a little bit slower again. We are ahead of the London fix, so it's not the great time to try to trade. Gold does nothing today. Friday, Thursday, last week also nothing. Fighting around the 1500. I'm checking the calendar and this ECB, and then to be honest with you, nothing extraordinary what would cause the change the market direction. So it might be that whatever we are going to get on Thursday post ECB, it might survive till whole Friday towards the end of the week. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's have a look, as we have some time, let's have a look where we are from the Canadian dollar perspective ahead of the retail sales tomorrow. And the USD CAD, either we are going to looks like we are going to retest this 30.50 demand. Now from that perspective, today's high where's supply 31.40. But that's because of overall dollar weakness. Let's have a look. How does it look on pound Canadian? Here is very similar to what we've seen on the cable. So that's the supply. Yes, this breakdown through here, so it was drop, base, drop, and we are finally retesting this one, but from this daily chart perspective we have to get back below today's low. Similar on cable. Kiwi Canadian, trying to build the base, some kind of the consolidation. Very interesting as well, because there is some space to the upside. Even we are there is like 85.50. So if in case we are going to double that range, let's have a look. Yeah, that could make sense. So New Zealand Canadian could be tradable. EuroCAD, here's even bigger range where we are right now trading the top of that range. So here Canadian is better, and CAD yen is weak today. Here is also very interesting. So tomorrow there is a chance it's gonna be very interesting based on what we currently have here. So this retail sales coverage, and well, few things should be tradable tomorrow. Few things, I'm pretty sure few things are going to be tradable. Now with this one, depends what kind of the sentiment we are going to have overall. I'm not talking about the Canadian, but this one with this equal move is around the high. So in case I'm right with the possible weakness on the indices over the course of the week, so in case of the poor Canadian retail sales tomorrow, we are inside the possible supply. Still waiting for this dollar yen to hit my levels. Actually, if you remember, I've been explaining this. I've been explaining this? No, I haven't. I've been waiting above 109. If you remember this weekly line, they hit few pips below. Looks like I have to adjust something, make some changes to avoid this. The same like today, right? For now, this they missed by 2-3 pips, at least for now. I don't know where we are going to be, but this during the cash market, post cash market open, right? I've been waiting here around 7,930 on my chart. The high was 26.27, so 3-4 pips points, if you wish. So the thing, we start with those charts covering every time we are going to get the position there. Mostly they are gonna be visible, right? During that time we are going to cover the market, and we are going to make some stats, so we will see. Of course, important is going to be the risk approach as well, right? So yeah, that's gonna be some kind of I will have to make some calculations, or that's what I have to figure it out yet. But yeah, definitely it's gonna be good stuff. Even from the perspective that we want to check how it's going, right? Or there are gonna be some kind of the setup, like, I don't know, the smallest is gonna be like risk 0.1, the second level is gonna be 0.15, and the third level is gonna be like agreed on 0.25. So meaning, for example, with this small account, it's gonna be like 0.02, 0.04, and let's say 0.0 maybe 8, risking 0.25, right? So in case of seeing this position size, it's gonna be well known what kind of the risk it is, right? Of course, that's gonna be challenged, because in that case we have to talk about some same distance between the entry and the stop. But that's something. That's why it's gonna be testing period towards the end of the year. So there's gonna be like 2 months of the testing. So I think that it's very possible that we are going to find the solution how to provide the information, what kind of the risk is taken, right? Well, that's I'm not in doubt that it's going to work the way it should work. All right, guys. So trying to summarize today, looking for the possibility to fade any kind of the rally towards 7930 or a little bit higher, meaning that what I'm looking for is stops taken. We are talking about the cash high. All right. So stops taken, and depends on the price action here. For example, just to trying to visualize, for example, if we are going to have this type of the candle, right, like this. So the close is gonna be of that candle is gonna be immediately my entry, but the stop is still above the zone, right? So if I'm going to see something like this, exactly like this, right? So it's gonna be stops taken, it's gonna be test of the supply, and ideally the close of that candle should be below that high, right? That's, for example, one of the possible entry, right? It could be also this type of the candle, so meaning that the close is gonna be the lowest level, right? That's also immediately the close gonna be my entry, all right? Then it could be also like this. And this type of the price action also is gonna be my entry at the close, right? So I show you, I've been trying to visualize few things I want to see here to be the reason for me to try to pick the short side on the Nasdaq. Cable, this information about the voting, that's gonna be the key. So looks like I'm not gonna get that before the London fix. So for now, I'm gonna skip the cable, right? Because that was the intraday approach based on that tiny consolidation, right? We've seen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna totally skip. I'm gonna to skip that idea, that particular one. And I'm going to focus more on, from the intraday perspective, on where we are based on this channel, as well, or probably even more important, where we are going to be closer towards end of the day, right? Just don't forget, guys, that we are testing right now, Thursday, Friday, today, we are testing the bottom of that old consolidation ahead of the break, right? So either we are going to work here, or we are going to retest 50% of that consolidation, meaning we are going to take out these stops here, right? The high from the 3rd of May, okay? So that's gonna be very, very interesting. And actually cable is being rejected again. So I'm unlucky with these 2 points today. Here is like 3 pips, right? But anyway, it doesn't mean that the bulls are not gonna have their chance. Watch out, and if we are going to have something similar around the bottom of the channel, especially that's gonna be also related to the weekly open, that could provide another rally, right? So overall the fight is going on for 130 psychological level on the cable. Euro dollar, previous hour hourly close below weekly open, retest, and well, it depends where we are going to be closer towards the London fix. Again, for me to try to join the party to the short side, first I want to see the market is taking out these lows, right? Let's say fighting for 1130, and then I want to see rally back, retest of the weekly open. So that's probably for tomorrow, and then 1085, 1075. I think those three, so Nasdaq, cable, euro dollar, should be enough for the rest of the day to watch. Don't forget, we are going to cover Canadian retail sales tomorrow live, only here, Light Forex Global YouTube channel. In the meantime, please hit subscribe button to get the information about the next stream. Again, I have to schedule the crypto stream, right? So either it's gonna be later today or somewhere tomorrow. And pretty much that's it on this beautiful Monday, 21st of October. Guys, thank you very much. It was my pleasure again. I am back after my move, right? So ready to deliver. Guys, have a great rest of the day. Have a great rest of the New York session, and see you around. Take care and goodbye, guys. Goodbye.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.